So another question that keeps coming up is how do I use arrays to set up my turtles and use arrays to race the turtles across the screen? Well, you could see here what was happening in the turtle program is that first you create all your turtles, so all 8 of them, and then you change all their colors, then you change all their shapes, and then you change all their speeds, and then you change their locations to the starting location, and then you race them, right? So there's an easier way to do this. The easier way to do this is to use an array, and an array is just like a variable, except it's a collection of variables that are indexed by numbers. And so to give you a visual representation, we could take a look here. Oh, let's not go here. Let's go to the Word document. So if I have a variable x, or maybe I can call it t for turtle, and inside of it I put a turtle in there. That's a visual representation of creating a variable turtle and putting a turtle inside of it. Just like we did here on line 10. Right? We made a variable a and put a turtle inside of it. The way that an array would be represented is, let's say we say RT, right? So array of turtles. It's going to look like this. We're going to have a T in every element in the array, and it is a collection of variables, and they are indexed. So the first one is 0, the second one is 1, third one is 2, then we got 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? So whenever we count in computer science, we always start counting with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you count all of those together, there are 8 turtles. So, yeah, and so after we make an array and we fill it with turtles, arrays and for loops work hand in hand. So you can very easily manipulate an array using a for loop. I'm going to show you how to do that. How do we create our turtle array? We can say RT right here equals 2 brackets, and they're empty. That means it's an empty array. It doesn't have any spaces in memory to save any location. All it is an empty array. All right. Now all of this I am going to erase because I'm going to do it all using a for loop. So let's start with this first one actually. Let me just do it first and then I can show you that it works. So we say for I in range 8. We're making 8 turtles. Inside, we're going to say rt dot append. In the parentheses, we're going to do turtle dot turtle. So, okay. So how does this for loop work? Well, I is set to 0 in the very beginning. 0 is compared to the value 8, and 0 is less than 8. So since 0 is less than 8, it goes into the for loop. It does whatever we put here. And then when it gets to the end of the body of the for loop, it comes back up and it adds 1 to I. And now I was 0. Now I is 1. It checks if i's value is less than 8, which it is. Then I is equal to 2. Then I is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is less than 8. It does this. And when it comes back up, I is equal to 8. And 8 is not less than 8. So it comes down to line 13 and continues executing the code. So that's what's happening. Now, if you look here, the very first iteration of the for loop, the I variable is equal to 0. We append a turtle into the empty array. So our array now has one element in it. Right? It has the 0 element. So what we can do is we can say RT sub I, because I is equal to 0. Right? And IT sub I dot color. I'm sorry, dot shape is a turtle. Okay. Now, if we run this and you follow it through, after making the I sub 0 equal to a turtle shape, we come back up. I is now incremented from 0 to 1. 1 is less than 8, so it comes into the for loop, and it appends another turtle onto the array, which has an index of 1, and now we manipulate RT sub 1, right? Then this element we just put in, and we turn his shape into a turtle, and so on. So let me show you that that works by Ooh, how can I show you that works? Well, I have to kind of do everything all over again. So let me go ahead and come down here and erase this for loop. Erase everything that's attached to it. Let me go ahead and erase all of these code here. So we erase the color, we erase the turtle shape, we erase the speed. This one is for the starting line, finish line. So let me put here starting, finish. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then my up and go tos and all of that I'm going to erase. Alright, so we start off kind of clean. And so actually let me move this for loop down below the starting line, finish line code. So I make my turtles, make them all shaped turtle. And so now how can I see them? Let's see, can I run this? I is not defined. Okay, let me go ahead and make this I turtle. I equals turtle dot turtle, and then I run it. Okay, so I make all my turtles and they're all there. There's 8 of them. They're stacked on top of each other. Notice that all their shapes are of type turtle. Okay, so now what about if I want to put them here on this line? How can I do that using my new setup? Well, what we can do is we can say right after we make the turtle and we put it into the array, we could say that same turtle dot go to. Right. And the x location is going to be the same. So I'm going to say negative 150 on the x. I'm just guessing there. And then the y, we need to use a variable for that. Right. So I'm going to come up here and I could say y underscore pos is equal to, and I want it to be equal to the initial position of the first turtle. So I'm going to say 150. Again, that's a guess. I'm going to have to adjust after I test. And so here I can say y underscore pos. So it's going to put the first turtle at negative 150, 150, which is negative 150 on the x to here, and then 150 positive on the y up to here. Okay. So after we place that first turtle, we want to adjust the position of the y variable. So we're going to say y pos is equal to y underscore pos minus, and I'm going to say 30. No, let me say 40. All right. So what is that going to do? That's going to put the first turtle at 150. Then y pos is going to be equal to 150 minus 40, which is 110. And when it comes back into the for loop and it does the go to, it's going to put the next turtle at 110. And then it's going to do the math again, and it's going to do 110 minus 40, which is 70. And then it's going to come back into the for loop. It's going to put the next turtle at 70. Right? So it's going to keep placing them on the same x-axis, different y-axis. So let's go ahead and run that. So you see how that works, right? Nice and easy, okay, using for loops. So again, how can I make my speed faster? Because they're a little bit slow. And so I say rt sub I dot speed, right, equals 0. I probably want to do a pen up before I go there. So right here I'm going to do rt sub I dot pen up, or I could just do up. And then after I get there, I can do a pen down. rti dot down. And let's run that again. It should run a lot faster. And so there you go, right? And so now you might be thinking, how do I make my turtles different colors using this for loop method? Well, to do that, you need to make an array of colors. Okay, so I'm going to say color is equal to brackets. Inside the brackets, I put double quotes and I put red, comma, yellow, comma, blue. Okay. And now I'm going to just go ahead and copy what I have to save time. I'm going to put it right here, say comma, comma, and I think that's too many. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's perfect. All right. So now I have my array of colors. So why do I do that? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so here we go. Oh my gosh, so it erased. So let me do color is equal to red, comma, yellow, comma, blue, comma, and then I'm going to copy and paste this again. And then I'm going to take away a couple of them. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll do an 8. And take away the blue. Okay, So now there's 8 elements in my color array. And so what I can do now is I can do rt sub I dot color, right? Now I need to give it a color. So I can do the color array by saying color sub I. Right? How does that work? The first iteration of the for loop, we're talking about turtle 0, and we're talking about color 0. Where's color 0? It's this first element. So it's going to make my first turtle red. Then my next turtle is going to be yellow. My next turtle is going to be blue, red, yellow, blue, red, and yellow. So if I run it, you can see, boom, they're all colored. Right? So that is the way that you can use arrays to easily put together your racing turtle lab.